In solving for integers, we learned in middle school that positive plus positive is going to give you a sum that is positive. So basically, in integers, when you add integers, you have to make sure that if they're both positive, you add them and then you copy the common sign. So for example, we have 5 plus 2. They're both positive. So that's why we're just going to add them. Positive plus positive is going to give you 7. Positive plus positive is going to give you 7. So 7 is the final answer. The common sign is positive, so that's why your final answer is positive. Same thing here. Because we have -5 and then -2, so I would say I have -5 and another -2. They have the same signs. That means I just have to add them, but I have to make sure that the answer is going to be the total, or the answer is going to be negative. So basically, in combining, in adding or subtracting integers, all you have to do is, if they have the common signs, you add them, but you copy the sign of the bigger, you copy the common sign. So here they're both positive, your answer is positive. They're both negative, that's why your answer is going to be negative. Now, for a third one, we have -5 plus 2. -5 plus 2 means here we have a negative, and then the other one is positive. So here, like signs, add, copy the common sign. Like signs, add, copy the common sign. Unlike signs, subtract. So 5 minus 2 is 3. But wait, you have to make sure you copy the sign of the bigger number. So here, let's say we have 5 and 2. 5 is bigger than 2, but the sign of 5 is negative. That's why we're just going to copy the sign of the bigger number, which is negative. Well, mathematically, -5 is actually smaller than 2. But if you cover that sign, if you're not going to talk about the sign, 5 is bigger than 2. But because the sign of 5 is negative, now we're copying negative for the sign of final answer. Now for number 4, when we multiply integers, if they have different signs, negative times positive, your final answer, the product is going to be negative product, so which is going to be -12. One is negative, one is positive. The product will give you a negative answer. So here, negative sign. So again, in multiplying unlike signs, the sign of your product is going to be negative. But in multiplying like signs, they're both positive. The sign of the product is going to be positive. So they're both negative here for number 5. They're both negative. So even if the signs are negative, still the product will be positive. Again, positive times positive, like signs, positive. Negative times negative, like signs again, positive. Here we go. Now, how about having a combination of multiplication, subtraction, and addition? Now, you have to remember that you have to multiply these two first. Now again, we learned here that negative times negative is going to give you a positive product. So right now, I have negative times negative. There you go. Becomes a positive. Just going to write down 2 and 3. And now 4 plus 2 plus 3 will give you 4 plus 2 is 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. There you go. Okay? So, number 8. Again, I know I'm moving super fast here, but you guys can just pause that, try to absorb the process in every problem, and then let me know, when you come back to my classroom. Let me know if you have questions, so I can help you with those questions, or you can email me, so I can help you with this. Here we go, number 8. For number 8, we have parentheses negative 2 cubed. That means you have to multiply negative 2 to itself 3 times, because that exponent 3 is telling you that you have to multiply that negative 2. You have to multiply your base to itself 3 times. So here we go. Negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2. Negative 2 times negative, again, negative times negative is positive. So now I have 4. But I still have that negative. 4 times negative, positive times negative is going to give you negative. So 4 times negative is negative 2 is giving you negative 8 is the answer. Okay. Now here you using your idea, your basic skills from middle school. Here you have negative 1 to the 4th. That means you multiply negative 1 to itself 4 times. So let's do it. Negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Negative times negative is positive 1. Positive times negative, negative 1. Negative times negative, positive. So final answer here is going for the negative 1 to the 4th power is going to be positive 1. And I'm just going to write down 3. Now using your common sense, mental math, whatever, calculator. But I prefer without calculator in here. So 8 plus 1 is giving you 9, minus 3 is giving you 6. So final answer is 9, 8 plus 1 minus 3. Final answer is 6. And again, 6 is the final answer. So again, how did we get this? It is from here, from the negative 1 to the 4th power. If you have questions about the integers, let me know so I can help you with it. Okay, now let's move on to PEMDAS. Okay. Now, you know that P stands for parentheses, exponent, multiplications, and division. So what's happening here, guys, is a lot of you are under the impression that you have to multiply it first before you divide, or you have to add them first before you divide. No, it's not true. Now, if multiplication comes first from the left, then you multiply it first. If division comes first, then you have to divide first before you multiply. So, for example, number 1. For example, let's say we have 3 minus 2. Here you go, and then 8 divided by 4, and then times 3. Okay, plus 2. Here you go. So let's try that one. Well, first we have to do the numbers in this, the numbers in parentheses. So here, having these numbers, we have to solve them first. Now, are we going to multiply it first or divide first before you multiply? Again, the rule is if multiplication comes first from the left, then you multiply first. But because division comes first before multiplication from the left, then we have to divide them first. So now we have 3 minus 2 parentheses. Okay, let's do it. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Okay, now that I'm done with 8 divided by 4, okay, which is 2, then I'll go ahead and multiply 2 and 3. So 3 times 2, 2 times 3 will give me 6. Okay? Now, let me go ahead and solve that 2 to the third. Now, what is 2 to the third? 2 to the third means I have to multiply 2 to itself 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Now 2 times 2 is 4. Bring that down, and now I have 8. So here is 8. Now, a lot of the students would do 3 minus 2 first. Again, you have to multiply or divide first before you add or subtract. So before we subtract or we add, we have to solve this first. So now I have negative 2 times 6 is negative 12 plus 8. And then I can go ahead and solve this. Okay. 3 minus 12 is 12 is bigger, so the answer is negative. So I'll go ahead and subtract because 1 is negative, 1 is negative, 1 is positive. So I'll subtract 12 minus 3. So I would say 9. And then plus 8. Now again, 1 is negative, 1 is positive. So that means we have to subtract them. And because 9 is bigger than 8, then I'll go ahead and put negative here. So I'm just going to copy the negative. And then 9 minus 8 is 1. Here we go. And negative 1 is the final answer. Okay? So how about having number 2? How about having 4 parentheses 7 minus 5 squared plus 1 over 2 plus 3 times 2 minus 1. Here we go. Now, having this problem, again, we have to follow the PEMDAS. Here we have parentheses first. So we're just going to go ahead and solve that 7 minus 5, which is going to give me 7 minus 5 is 2. Okay? Over. Now, for the denominator, should we add 2 and 3 first, or multiply 3 and 2, or subtract? Again, let's follow the steps here. The order. Parentheses, there's no parentheses, so we're not using the P. Exponent, there's no exponent in the denominator, but you have to multiply first. So instead of you adding 2 and 3 first, you have to multiply 3 and 2 first, because the order is saying that we have to multiply or divide before we add. So I'm going to copy the 2, and now I'll do 3 and 2 is 6 minus 1. Okay, now let's go back to the numerator. Should we multiply first, or should I solve the exponent first? P, parentheses, okay, exponent. So I guess I have to solve the exponent first. Now that I have 4, okay, I'm just going to copy 4 there. And then now you have 2 squared, which is 2 times 2. You have to multiply the base 2 to itself twice. So that means you have 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1. Okay? And the denominator will be 2 times 2 plus 6 is 8 minus 1 is 7. Now let's go ahead and multiply 4 and 4. 16 plus 1 over 7. And now 16 plus 1 is 17 over 7. And 17 over 7 is the final answer.